thinking, and an important point that you've made, we talk with our clients all the time about the concept of marketing, and marketing has this kind of Don Draper Mad Men. It's the big idea, and it's all about being like super creative, which is true, right? Like you want some creative pieces to it, but if you can't execute it, if you can't operationalize it, you're never ever going to make it work, right? Like it's more about that part of it. Like, what are you doing consistently? How are you operationalizing your marketing? How are you making it work just like your finances do? So having an operations mindset, where you and I probably seem to map there, means that sometimes you wouldn't be seeing in the marketing realm, but it's a really good skill set to have, right? To kind of make sure you're meeting your objectives and goals.
Oh, when I meet other business owners and they're like, systems, like, what do you mean systems? I'm like, what do you mean you don't have systems? Like, how do you do your job? And yeah, I think tools and, just different things along the way that you do learn it. But, I think probably some tips, like if you are doing like writing, or even the writing process, you have to have a systematic approach to it. So, I tell my writers, write down exactly what you're doing. It might be different than what I'm doing, and that's okay. As long as we get to that finish line and you have a way to maybe your next article, you have that system in place, you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to pump out work faster and, make it work for you.
Yeah, very efficient. And when you're creating, so one thing that our clients, when they come to us, they fall in two categories. They've either written a bunch of stuff and it's a bunch of gobbledygook. It's like thousands and thousands of words, and like, we're just keep writing. We're not sure why. We're like, we know, we can tell. Or yep. They're not doing anything at all. So they typically fall in both of those categories. And the struggle on the people who aren't doing anything is, and one of our first exercises is we create a 12-month content calendar with them. We'd like sit down and say, let's pretend like your business was a magazine and you were going to write about that in a magazine for the next 12 months. What would be the topic areas? Like, what would you talk about each month? So when you're starting with a new, client and kind of thinking about what they want, what's your approach to getting them kind of down the path?
Well, I think the first thing, especially we have those clients too that have the gobbledygook, right? The stuff where you're like, okay, you're publishing, but it's nothing. Nothing's
useful.
Like,
right.
I don't understand like what you're talking about. And it goes back to not only the audience, but who their main target, like ideal customer is, because sometimes the content is not even close to what, like as a customer, I would go to them for.